What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Thursday, September 9th to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio, and I am pumped up about this show. I'm very excited about this show. 8 MLB games for us to break down. Then, DJ Big Boss joins us, and we attack NCAA football, and we attack the spots where he is an absolute expert in, and I'm very excited. I've started out the year 14-3, so I'm extremely pumped up, and we are breaking down the entire Mountain West card and the Notre Dame game, and I'm just so excited about it. Then we have NFL football, baby. Opening night, NFL football. So we'll break down the opening night NFL football game. This is about as excited as I've been for a show in a long time. I love working with DJ Big Boss. I love working with you guys. I love mixing in different sports in the show. You know, baseball is near and dear to my heart, but I'm excited. I'm pumped up. I'm ready to rock and roll. I'm coming off a middling day, 4-3 plus 0.60 units. Again, and North Ender and a couple other guys have been noticing it. The bets that I put in before the show now are hitting at a much higher rate than the additions that I'm making in the show. And that was not the case 2.5 months ago. So the bets I made before the show started 4-0-1. Minnesota, Cleveland under 9, Blue Jays even money. Cubs first 5 was a push, and the A's double up. Such an easy cash for the A's double up. And then my additions hurt. I went 3-1. The Diamondbacks first 5 was a loser. Texas, Arizona first 5 under 4.5 was a loser. A Red Sox first 5 pushed, and Cincinnati, Chicago over 9 didn't even come close. So disappointing. There's razor sharp picks in the house. Razor sharp picks going for 6 straight here. Let me just go over the razor sharp picks very quickly here on Twitter. He's just destroying right now, and I want to pop up his action here. Just rolling, running hot, baby. So Gambler's First Glance cashing again. Did I already do that? No, I'm going to retweet that right now. We're honored that he drops his Gambler's First Glance on our show. North Ender says 3-0 the day before 2 Jimmy. Yeah, it's frustrating. It's really, really it's really frustrating. But it is also important for us just to be consciously aware of what's working, what's not working. And I have 4 bets in before the show started, and look, I'm noticing it too, and so is my bankroll. So, all right, but I'm pumped up. I'm excited to be here. It was also first day of school for Ella in her lifetime, and it was fun walking her over to school this morning, and pretty memorable. So I'm in a great mood, and I'm excited to be here. Sammy Comer play today. Phillies first 5 -1/2. I find these 8 games fascinating in MLB and tricky. And my first instinct, and I love Ranger Suarez, not as much as I love Carlos Hernandez, who's on the bump today, but I love Ranger Suarez, and I was concerned by how big of a favorite he was, even though he's been lights out at home. He's been so good lately, but something just didn't sit right with me as the Phillies being this big of a favorite against Sensatella. And I know the Rockies have been so bad on the road. Something just didn't sit right. And then the market has not moved towards the Phillies. So I'm a little nervous about that spot, but we will break it down. Pablo Escobar says the boys will cover tonight. Look, I know, missing a key member of the offensive line, but that spread's starting to become more and more appealing for the Cowboys. And in my pools, in my the football pools I'm on the Cowboys. I don't have the balls to put actual money on the Cowboys at this point. Damon ready to go. We got G Money Bag. Speaking of which, Damon went and hung out with Noli Knows and DJ Big Boss over the weekend. I love when the low baggers are getting together. There's Larry Garr in the house. I had to travel for a few weeks for work. I love capping with Jimmy and his low bag family. Let's eat. Great to see you, Larry. Real Deal Prime. Brooklyn Funk Project. My man Pete in the house. The print department says good calls on MLB picks. I'm frustrated. I mean, I don't need to reiterate this over and over again, but the bets I had to have in all cashed. My additions have not been good, and it's affecting me. Henry Dice says thoughts on under 51.5 on tonight's NFL game. Henry, I'll let you know this, that it's so important to track your action. So crucial. What are you doing right? What are you doing wrong? What is succeeding? What is hurting? And my ROI on totals in the first 3 weeks of the season is poor. I've only moved on one game total in week 1, and I have a team total over in the same at 21.5 and a team total under in the Bears at 17.5. But I don't trust our angles and pace of play and yards per attempt and all that in week 1. I think that we're sort of guessing on totals in week 1. And it's not something I want to do. And I would expect the Buccaneers to get off to a somewhat slow start because of that, big thing that's going on before the game, the big ceremony. And then I expect them probably to take over in the second quarter. And if they take over right, I expect them to slow the clock down in the third and fourth quarters and just kind of ball control. And so I don't want to send any. I'm not going to give you a lean or a feel on an angle totals in the first 3 weeks that I have a losing ROI on. Pretty simple there. Razor Sharp picks in the house. Razor Sharp picks rolling, baby. There's my guy, Fat Wally, Tony Cobbs, Sammy Comer saying loving the under 51.5. So there, if there's guys who are succeeding with totals in the first 3 weeks of the year, trust them. Trust them. There's North Ender. Love rolling with you guys. I'm really excited about today's show. I'm really pumped up, and I want to just get right after it. But I want to give a shout out to all you guys that make this show so special. Brian Watson, YouTube, everything. TJ in the house. TJ, we had tough luck there. We called the Mills excellent start, but thought we could get a run or more. We got one run. We pushed the Cubs, but I thought that was a nice look we were on. Coco Bongo ready to go. Says beers are already flowing. All right, Coco getting it in you. Danzo ready to go. Ron Crawford, spreadsheet play today is the Dodgers at minus 157. Spreadsheet play is in the Dodgers. Where is it? There we go. Spreadsheet play today, Dodgers, and copied and pasted. And that game pops off early. So we got a nice early start here for the spreadsheet play today. So we'll get into that immediately. There's Ricky Levine in the house. Says, you've never been to Petco. You need to go. Awesome place. I dream of that place. I've dreamt of that place. I hope to go there. Alcantara, it's too bad that I stayed off the Marlins first 5 just because of Jesus Aguilar not being in the lineup. All right, happy first day of NFL, says our guy, Birdie. Eric Jones says Jays plus 110 cash it. Yes, Jose back in the black as well. I noticed a correlation of Jose succeeding when he has to. And when he doesn't have that pressure on him, he doesn't seem to have that edge. But he's taking a long time figuring out exactly what to do on this say, hey, play today. And that I like seeing that. I like seeing it, not just a willy-nilly. I like that. Ray Charles, been waiting all summer for football. Love the 3-hour video with Pepsi. Yeah, sorry about the 3-hour video. Brady said, did you cry? Not at all. No, I was more, and he's asking about Ella. No, it was more information gathering. I want to see how Ella handles herself in this situation, and I found it just so interesting. I want to give her as much confidence as possible. And then we go into the part of the world where I can't protect her, and that's going to happen more and more as she gets older. I want to protect her always, but now she leaves, she goes into the school and I'm not there. And I want her to be able to handle those situations. And she was taking it all in. She seemed I wouldn't say nervous, but she wasn't outgoing. She was just taking it all in and figuring her shit out. And so, no, it was not a crying situation for me. This wasn't a crying. I wasn't sad or happy. I was extremely interested to see how she would handle it, and I just wanted to be there beside her. Brian Watson ready to go. Oz B. Maddie Ice says, if I ever bet the Yankees do not tail, that's a team I just can't get right. Look, you are still a winning capper on this show, and, so we trust you implicitly. And both Jose and I were on our bets before we knew that Taint was on the other side, and I wouldn't have made the bet had I known. I wouldn't have made the bet had I known. And Eric Jones says the replacement will be fine for the offensive line, and that was the overwhelming feeling on the video. The overwhelming feeling on the video was that we were using this, Zach Martin being out too big, too heavy. Okay, let's go. We got lots of work to do, and Rusty Kuntz play of the day is in as well. So let's get that Rusty Kuntz copied and pasted here. Cowboys. So is that first half team total, right? First half team total over 9.5 at -130. I was staring at those team totals for a long time as well. So that's going to be the last game that we cap on today's show. We're going to finish off with NFL, but we don't have to now, I realize, because we weren't sure exactly where Boss was going to be shooting from, and now we know. So I don't know. Why don't you, Jose, what do you think? Do you think we should go? Should we close the show on NFL, or should we do NFL right after baseball? Close? Okay, we're going to close the show on NFL. That was the plan. Okay. Ray Charles says, how are the Cowboys going to keep up with the offense and defense of the Bucs? This should be a blowout for Tampa. Not a lot of, I don't know. It's just hard to, look, I don't trust McCarthy. I don't trust McCarthy to be ready. Have the boys ready. But I don't want to sit. I mean, they're certainly not going to be on Tampa. It's become a Dallas or no bet. Creo says, I know betting in general on any sport is a gamble, but baseball just feels way more of a gamble. You can be super confident in a spot just to get absolutely destroyed. Yeah, it's look, baseball's tough. Baseball's tricky. But the cappers like Dommy Gunricci right here, the cappers like Dom and others, they beat baseball every year. So what are they doing to have a positive ROI in baseball every single year? And I want to get there. I want to get there very badly. So, and I love the sport, so I want to get there. That's the plan. That is the goal. Okay, I'm way behind here with all these great comments, but it is time to get to work. So shout out to everybody. TJ says, here comes the Cleveland line moving. Cleveland -139 is the TJ play of the day. So Cleveland, here comes the Cleveland money. All right, so let's get that here in my notes so I can talk about the TJ play of the day that's also being destroying right now. And I found it very interesting that the sharp money was not on Cleveland, and the line made no sense to me. Quantrill 3-0, 2.39 ERA, 222 points batting average at home. It was a red flag and made me not move on it. Okay. So great stuff. Thank you guys all so much for joining us. And I believe a taint play today. There's Mark Schillingberg in the house. I believe a taint play today was out there. Yes, Indians first 5 -0.5. And look, that was my initial thought. I just wanted to talk it out because the market was surprising me. Osby moved on Boise State at the half and the over at the half. What do you think, Jimmy? I can't wait to talk about that game, Oz. Look, I can't wait to talk about Boise State. We got all of Mountain West and the Notre Dame Fighting Irish game to break down. So I'm extremely, extremely excited. Okay, let's get to work. And Remo says if Jimmy goes on tilt and makes 20-plus bets, there will be no room on the screen for his face. Yes, there's a lot of records up there, and I love it. I love what Jose does on the ones and twos. And we switch it up. Don't worry, it's not going to be all records up there throughout our show. We'll switch it up. All right. Banana Grapes says, I know this is a baseball channel, but you got to pick Cowboys plus points. I think the line is 2-4. This is not a baseball channel, Banana Grapes. Please. It was just the throws, the dead of summer. We are a sports channel, and we are a boozing channel. And we combine sports and booze. And we'll never try and sell you anything. We just want to cap with you and beat the books with you. That's what we are. We're not a baseball channel, my man. We're a sports channel, and we're a drunk channel. Let's get to work right now. We start with the spreadsheet play of the day at -157. The LA Dodgers is Ron Crawford's look. LA Dodgers, this game pops off in 2 hours. 2 short hours. Ron Crawford's in, baby. Rodney Barton in the house. Great to see you, Rodney. Remo says, and a yelling and a Venezuelan help channel. That's nice. I like that. That's okay, Banana Grapes, man. Don't worry, my guy. But yes, we are not a baseball channel. We are sports, baby. Sports. That's all we want to do. It's all we want to talk about. LA Dodgers 88-52, 42-29 on the road at St. Louis Cardinals 70-68, 36-32 at home. Busch Stadium, St. Louis, Missouri. I'm so excited about this show. I'm so excited about these 8 MLB games. I find them fascinating. Can't wait to break down NCAA football. We're white hot. And then opening night NFL, baby. God, it feels so good. 76 Fahrenheit, clear, 7 miles per hour, sideways right across the diamond. Tony Gonsolin pitching. We have not seen him since July 30th. Spent 6 weeks on the injured list, almost 6 weeks, with right shoulder inflammation. And threw 41 pitches over 2 1/3 during his rehab outing at High A Rancho Cucamonga. So this is a bullpen day. This is a clear bullpen day. Joe Yergin says, line falling on Dodgers as we speak because of their lineup. Eric Jones says, give me the under 9 on the Dodgers. We'll move to 8.5. And there's Sean Thompson saying it perfectly, my guy Sean. We cap all sports, some better than others. We work as a squad. I love you, Sean. You're a huge asset to us. Love capping with you. Okay. Creo says, Dodgers, Cardinals, under 9. I feel like it should be solid. Well, let's see if I could take a look at this lineup because it wasn't out earlier. And Joe Yurkovich, another capper who beats baseball year after year. It's important to work with guys like that, like Noli Knows, Ant L, Twadi Latte. It's important to work, Pete Loshak, important to work with cappers that beat MLB every year and figure out what they are doing differently than us to do it. Okay, confirmed lineup for the Dodgers. Betts, Muncy, Turner, Trey Turner, Justin Turner, Bellinger, Souza, McKinney, Barnes. Steven Souza. I thought he was designated for assignment. I thought his career was over. I looked up Souza like a week and a half ago. I was like, what the hell happened to this dude? I thought he was DFA'd. Wow. Respect for Steven Souza. I mean, his numbers in the minors were terrible this year. For the Cardinals, Edmund, Goldschmidt, O'Neill, Arenado, Carlson, Nootbaar, DeYoung. Interesting. Nasty Nate in the house. Oh, no, Top said, this is not good. We can get you out of this. We'll get you out of this. And Tommy Gunn took Cowboys over 1.5 field goals. Dad Fences, I don't see anything wrong with the Dodgers lineup. Looks good. And Billy Brisbane in the house. Great to see you, Billy Briz. Okay. So, Gonsolin, 2.78 ERA, 1.46 whip, but it's going to be a bullpen day. I do not see him finishing 3 innings. Going up against Jake Woodford. Jake Woodford, 24-year-old Woodford, first-round pick out of high school. I believe it was in Tampa, the 2015 draft. Woodford's 2-3, 4.47 ERA, 1.40 whip, 44 1/3, 37 Ks, 17 walks, 7 home runs. In his last start, he went 5 1/3, 2 hits, no earned runs, no walks, 5 Ks, the 4-0 loss at the Brewers. It was his best start of the young season. The Dodgers are not hitting righties right now, 213, 671 OPS. The Cardinals are not hitting righties either, 239, 695 OPS. Dodgers bullpen at 1.98 ERA, 1.03 whip over the last 30 days. And again, those are the righties and the offensive, all these numbers will last 30 days, as you guys mostly know. Cardinals bullpen 3.80 ERA, 1.22 whip over the last 30 days. I not comfortable with this game. I can understand, and we'll look at the market. The market might be moving us towards betting an under, but I feel like I'd be doing a lot of guessing on these two starting pitchers, and it makes me not want to bet it. Now, we know that, for the West Coast guys, a 115 game out east is not easy. So against Woodford, there are only 7 at-bats against him, so not a lot of sample size either. Mike M says, pimp, slap, play day is ready. Let's go. I look forward to reading it. And Joe Yurkovich says, stay away game. And that's my feeling right now. Let's look at what the market has done with this spot. This total opened up at 9, and there's been no movement, and there's been an 8-cent move back to the Cardinals. So no movement at all. Now, it's only been out at Pinnacle for a couple hours, but a surprising lack of movement there. And then this 8-cent move back to the Cardinals on Pinnacle. So let's move over to this. So we have 2,181 tickets in, and they are saying that the Dodgers will move to minus 162. There's 72%. Excuse me, sorry, that was spread. On the money line, 84% of the tickets are on the Dodgers, 81% of the cash. And then 57% of the tickets and 95% of the cash are on the under, and yet it's not moving. Now, it looks like it's moving at Bet Online. Yes, they just moved it 9 cents. So there you go. Bet Online is the first big move there. Ryan Taylor says bats will crush over party. Puzzler, you know she's going to be a gambler. So we'll see. Creo says Dodgers opponents are averaging less than 3 runs in the last 9 on the road. LJ from H-Town says Dodgers are money today. Creo says I want to take the first 5 over 4.5, but I could see 5 runs not getting there. Look, I'm not going to. I do not feel comfortable with this spot here. I do not feel comfortable with predicting Jake Woodford at this point or what this Dodgers bullpen is going to do. But what can we hang our hat on? We know the Dodgers bullpen has been very good of late. But, and this is my own thing, is that I would much rather have a bullpen day at the beginning of a series rather than at the tail end of a series when the opponents have seen your bullpen throughout the last few games. Ron Crawford said Dodgers lost the game on San Francisco, got to get half a game back. So, Banana Grapes likes the Cardinals to score first and lose. LJ from H-Town, great note here. 4-0 record, 4th game of the road series, all wins by the money line. So, look, I mean, if it was just, I can understand the under. But I'm not going to bet it. Let's just take one last look at that lineup. Yeah, I get it. I get the under. It's under a no bet. So I'll leave a lean to the under, and I'll kind of keep an eye on this market here. But that is all. Let's move on to 3:37 p.m. Eastern. TJ says Dodgers best ERA in baseball since August 1st. Bats cooled off early day game under first 5. And Craig Wood says his Dodgers bullpen's been used a ton. He's right there. And Sean says too many questions. So I agree with that. Oh, another thing you guys to know is that one of the things that Pistol Pete Loshak does that I don't do is Pistol Pete tracks his leans as well. And he hits higher with his leans than his actual money. But it's so important to track your action. All right, let's move on to the next spot on the card. Chicago White Sox at Oakland A's, 3:37 p.m. Eastern. White Sox 80-59, 34-35 on the road. Oakland A's 75-64, 38-32 at home. Oakland Coliseum in Oakland, California, 68 Fahrenheit. Partly cloudy, 7 miles per hour to left center. And spreadsheet play number 2 is on the Chicago White Sox. Ron Crawford coming in hot. Ron Crawford, spreadsheet number 2 is on the Chicago White Sox. Ron Crawford firing bullets. All right, Ronaldo Lopez versus Sean Manaea. Look, I look very closely at this spot. Topset said, I kept every MLB game. I have some good angles. My losing strength is holding me back. Okay, well, we're going to get you back. And Mr. Gokster says, love this card today. Great to see you, Mr. Gokster. Ronaldo Lopez, 3-1, 2.08 ERA, 0.72 whip, 39 innings, 38 Ks, 8 walks, 4 home runs. And he's been very good. And they need him desperately with the injuries to their starting rotation. In his last start, he went 4 innings, allowed 3 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 homer, 1 walk, 1 K, and a 10-7 win at the Royals. Sean Manaea on the other side, he's been a very tricky pitcher to figure out this year. 8-9, 3.91 ERA, 1.22 whip, 165 Ks, and 149 2/3. His last start was very good. It was at the Jays. And I was on I can't remember how I I believe it was a mistake. I believe it was a first 5 under, and it was Manaea versus Manoah. And Manaea was good. 7 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 homer, 0 walks, 9 Ks, and 11-10 loss at the Jays. And I believe it was Manoah that got touched violently. At home, he's been kind of poor. 4-4, 4.15 ERA, 278 opponent's batting average. It's on the road where he's looked very good. 4-5, 3.64 ERA, 219 opponent's batting average. He held down a very tough Jays lineup. And he's been so good on the road, and he's striking out batters at a very high rate. The issue is White Sox are raking against lefties again, just like old times. 296 with an 864 OPS. A's versus righties, 243, 761 OPS. Sean Thompson says, love Lopez, but Manaea will pitch big here at home in this spot. I might back the A's. At home, he's not been very good. But I'm afraid to mess with him. And the A's are playing very good baseball. Their bullpen's not been good. So it's not an all-around. But their offense, let me say their offense is just humming right now. And I was so confident in last night's double-up, first 5 full game. The bullpen's been bad, though. 5 ERA over the last 30 days, 1.30 whip, 4.46 ERA, 1.25 whip for the White Sox. I guess the White Sox make sense. Let's go over the baseball data here. Against Ronaldo Lopez, 176 with a 491 OPS. He just shuts these guys down. They're 13 for 47 with 4 extra base hits. They have 4 extra base hits and 74 at-bats. And only 4 White Sox have seen Manaea. Joe Yerford says the market thinks Lopez sucks. He does not. No, he's looked very good this year. YouTube Everything says Oakland can't finish a game. Johnny K kind of likes the White Sox here. Mr. Gokster is on the White Sox team total over 3.5. Says, like a gift from the gods. And Millsy in the house says got Dak to score a TD plus 325. Mark Schillingberg, dope, man. Leaving for the beach at midnight. Where are you going? Tell us where. Billy Pilgrim says Tim Anderson on the IL. He's the straw that stirs the drink, but they still have weapons on this team. And Ron Crawford's going to play all Dodgers, White Sox, Cleveland, KC, and the Mets. There's Deacon Mike in the house. Deacon Mike, great hit on the over 2.5 home runs again. It was a 4-1 extra inning win, and he catches the over 2.5 homers in the Chicago Cubs game. Out of boy, Deacon. Mr. Gokster says, I don't say this a lot, but this seems like low-hanging fruit. Rodney Barnes says, last 2 games, Manaea's been crushed at home. He's lost 4 straight. All games have gone over recently. Yeah. Okay, so let's move over to the odds here. The A's open up at minus 130. They're now minus 145, a 15-cent move towards them, and this total's gone down a full run, which now makes sense after you're studying it a little bit more. If you trust Manaea, goes from 9 to 8. A spreadsheet play of the day on a dog with the White Sox is a really exciting look. Oh, that's beautiful, Mark. Enjoy it, my man. Ugh. Well, let's see if the cash can lead us anywhere here. 4,652 tickets, a nice-looking sample size. We have 59% of the tickets, 49% of the cash on the White Sox. Then we have 44% of the tickets and 89% of the cash on the under. So, yes, I get it. I get the White Sox. But I thought Manaea looked so good against the Jays in that last start. But I guess you're getting a plus line, and that's all that you can ask for, right? All you can ask for is a plus line. So it moves 15 cents towards the Oakland A's, making the White Sox more appealing when 59% of the tickets and 49% of the cash are on the White Sox. I'm going to stay off here. I'm going to stay off here. But I get it. I completely get it. All right. So those are the first 2 afternoon games on the slate. We move on to 6:10 p.m. Eastern, and we get to our man Matty Ice's taint play of the day. Indians first 5 minus a half, minus 110, going for 50 wins today. Our man Matty Ice. TJ's play of the day is also Cleveland here. And I get it. I just couldn't comprehend the line. And when I can't comprehend the line, I should bet the other side. Who knows when I'll have the fortitude or the balls or whatever it is to do that. Right now, I stay off. There's Ron Crawford, spreadsheet play of the day. Spreadsheet Cleveland, but it's not a play of the day, right, Ron? But if you want, it's your world, Ron. So if you want to add to this and make more than two, it's totally whatever you want to do. You are in control here. Turney said Indians have cost me a lot of money this week, and I'm backing them again. Nuts on the table. Nuts out up on the table. Dommy Gunn says hit Twins in under 2 of these games series. Looking at under again. And Eric Rosas says Dobnak is an Uber driver. Indians should smash. Mally Mouse says Quantrill has given up 5 runs since June. Gave it up last game to Boston. But guess who them 5 runs was against? Quantrill has given up 9 runs in 12 innings versus the Twins. This from Creel. But those were when he was on the road. Didn't give up any when he pitched at home. And Joe Yurkovich, Indians -1 plus 148 in division, trying to avoid a 4-game sweep with their ace on the mound means something here. All you need are plus odds for this take. I get that. All right, let's break this down more. Dobnak, last start was poor at Tampa. 7 innings, 6 hits, 5 earned runs. Just 2 Ks, no walks. 7.64 ERA, 1.54 whip on the season. At home, he's been a train wreck. 0-3, 11.09 ERA, 390 opponent's batting average. Everybody who lines up against Randy Dobnak at Target Field is Tony Gwynn. On the road, 1-4, 5.63 ERA, 260 opponent's batting average. Much better. Going up against Cal Quantrill. Great season, 3.15 ERA, 1.22 whip. Last start, he got touched at Boston, at Fenway. 7 hits, 5 earned runs, 3 homers, 2 walks, 6 Ks in 6 innings. And at home, he's been lights out. On the road, he struggled. But at home, 3-0, 2.39 ERA. Okay, no play today, just match spreadsheet. I feel you, Ron. And Robert Cherry, I saw that, man. You saw your comment on the YouTube page. Look, I'm watching, man. We're all watching, Robert. So Pamper Pop play of the day going for 20-7. Eric Rosas says Dobnak did well in the short season, but terrible ever since. Twins versus righties last 30 days, 241, 743 OPS. Indians versus righties, 246, 728 OPS. Twins bullpen, 3.28 ERA over the last 30 days, been excellent after a terrible start to the year. And the Indians bullpen being bad. Universal Luxury coming in with K-State and Ball State. I've been staring at Ball State for days now, wondering if I could pull the trigger. I like it. I'm going to copy and paste that Universal Luxury. Thank you for sharing your hard work with us. And that is copied and pasted. Mark Sports Betting says Cleveland can't score. Lost too much money on beating both Cleveland and Reds. So those are my stay-off teams. I get it. Let's just quickly. Well, so we know that the taint play today is the Indians first 5 miles half. We know that TJ's play today is the Indians on the money line, -139. And we know that Joe Yurkovich going for the big score on the run line. So let's go over the baseball data. Against Dobnak, 219, 492 OPS. They're 7 for 32 with 1 extra base hit being a double. Impressive. Against Quantrill, 306 with a 915 OPS. These guys have hit him. Now, that was at Target Field, not at home. So we move on to see where the cash is in this game. And this will be telling. 3,543 tickets in. 75% of the tickets, 85% of the cash on the Indians. So why is there only being a 2-cent move towards them? 65% of tickets, 70% of cash on the under. And it's now juiced to the over. Puzzler says Dobnak, new record holder in hard hit over 95 miles per hour. Hard hit ball percentage of 43%. Ron Crawford says, I like Ball State. Penn State has Auburn on deck. Bad sandwich spot. And there's Von Polo in the house. Says definitely likes Ball State this weekend. Rodney Barnes says Quantrill hasn't thrown an under game since July 17th. Morgan Spooner, much love. Joe Yurkovich says too early for ticket reading. I don't agree with that at all. I want to know where the early tickets are. personally. And we all have different systems. And look, Joe, you're a masterful handicapper. But I want to know badly where the early tickets are because I believe that's the sharper money. This is probably a very easy look for you guys. Probably. But I'm uncomfortable with the market. Uncomfortable to the point where I've had enough action on this card. There's spots that I like, and I don't need to reach here. With all the money coming in on the under, I'm surprised that they're making it more appealing for people. So, Banana Grapes agreeing with Top Set on that first 5 under. Okay, let's move on to my first look of the day. But one more shout out to TJ's play of the day. Joe Yurkovich on the Indians -1.5. TJ's play of the day on Cleveland -139. Cleveland is a spreadsheet play, but it's not a spreadsheet play of the day. And then we also have, of course, sweet taint. All right, we move on. And Nikolai Jubisky says HC Spartak Moscow KHL good for a tie in regulation. Oh, that's a nice big plus price. Okay, we are moving on. 6:40 p.m. Eastern. This is my first spot of the day. I'm on the first 5 under 4 in New York Mets at Miami Marlins. I love getting the 4 here. And it wasn't even that juiced, a 4 -115. Let's just see what it is now. The full game is still sitting at 7.5. There's been very little movement on the full game at 7.5. And the first 5 here, I would love to see a 3.5. There are no 3.5s. And there's only been a 1 cent move to the under 4 here. Viper MB's on the under, and Ron Crawford says Mets match spreadsheet. Mark Sports Betting says, any idea of what amount of money moves the line? No, it's not. It doesn't always work, quite like that. And that's what we talk about, reverse line movement and all those things. When is a bet classified as sharp money? And what's the difference between sharp money and contrarian money and all that stuff? Because there's a big difference. It's not just being a contrarian. That's not just, obviously. That we need to have a full show on that. We used to do a show where we talked about the ins and outs of handicapping. Turnsy says, Soella at school all day now. We have more daytime Kraken appearances. Oh, man. Do you hear the quiver in my voice? Obviously, it's what I want to be doing. But I won't be today. New York Mets 70-70, Marlins 58-81, loanDepot Park in Miami, Florida. I'm hoping that the roof is closed. Jeffrey Blue is on the team total over 4. And look at that. Razor Sharp Picks is in. We are honored to have him drop these on our show. Razor Sharp Picks, Gambler's First Glance going for 6 straight is on the full game under. Ooh-wee. So Stroman, Luzardo. Stroman, 9-12, 2.93 ERA, 1.15 whip, 156 2/3, 136 Ks, 39 walks, and 14 home runs. Last start, he went 5 innings, allowed 6 hits, 3 earned runs, no homers, 3 walks, 2 Ks, and an 11-9 win at Washington. Did not look great. Going up against Luzardo, 3-3, 7.15 ERA, 1.68 whip, 34 innings, 31 Ks, 20 walks, 6 home runs. Look, he's had a bad season. We know that. He's had a bad season. And he's got some really interesting things going on here. He's coming off 2 of his better starts of the year. 2 starts ago, he was lights out. Last start, he was okay. 5 2/3, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 homer, 2 walks, 3 Ks, and 10-3 win at the Phillies. The Mets are hitting 237, 651 OPS versus lefties. And the Marlins are only hitting 226, 632 OPS last 30 days versus righties. So both teams aren't hitting, Mets aren't hitting lefties, Marlins aren't hitting righties. This is Luzardo's 6th straight start at home. 6th in a row. And he's had 2 that have been good. And the Mets aren't hitting lefties. You add this all up for me, and I really like that first 5 under 4. And I like Razors under 7.5. In the Marlins bullpen has been a little better of late. I just don't trust them. 4.40 ERA, 1.2 whip over the last 30. But I love his look. I'm going to focus on the first 5. I like the push at 4 quite a bit. I think it's a pretty nice spot that I'm in right now. So we move over to baseball data. Against Stroman, the Fish are hitting 250 with a 548 OPS. They're 4 for 16 with one extra base hit, that being a double. Against Luzardo, 188 with a 653 OPS. They're 3 for 16 because they don't hit lefties. And if Luzardo didn't have a 7.15 ERA, 1.68 whip, this would be a 3.5 for sure. I think it's a nice spot. Let's see where the cash is, if there's any reason why I should be scared at all. 2,874 tickets in. 80% of the tickets, 79% of the cash on the Mets. Then 32% of tickets on the under, but 50% of the cash on the under. I like it. There you go. That's my first spot on the board. First 5 under 4 correlates with Razor Sharp picks, going for 6 in a row. Attaboy, Razor. Attaboy. All right. We move on to Rockies Phillies. This game is fascinating. 7:05 p.m. Eastern. Rockies 63-77, 18-50 on the road. Phillies 71-68, 39-28 at home. Citizens Bank Park, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. 67 Fahrenheit, light rain early, 5 miles per hour sideways in. Senzatella Suarez. Senzatella 4-9, 4.16 ERA, 1.31 whip, 132 innings, 90 Ks, 27 walks, 10 homers. His last start, he goes 7 innings, on 6 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 homer, no walks, 3 Ks, and a 4-3 win at home versus the Braves. Nobody questions him at home. He's been excellent at home. 3-3, well, good. 3-3, 3.89 ERA, 269 opponents batting average at home. On the road, that's where we question him. 1-6, 4.56 ERA, 298 opponents batting average. But Ranger Suarez has been so good this year, but is there that big of an advantage? I don't know. I was hesitant to back the Phillies here. Damon Santori says that Senzatella has been good the last few starts, and Mark Sports, a Kraken play of the day. Jay's money line plus a hundo from Mark Sports Betting. And Jake Burns, thank you for the kind words, my friend. All right, let's pop this here. The Kraken play of the day is the Jays. God, it's going to be a fun game tonight in the Bronx, man. Okay, so Suarez, 6-4, 1.38 ERA, 1.03 whip, 72 Ks in 72 innings, 29 walks, just 3 home runs in 72 innings. He's been excellent. Last start was at the Marlins, 5 innings, 2 hits, no earned runs, no homers, 2 walks, 7 Ks, and a 3-2 loss at Miami. And Miami's been hitting lefties. At home, he's spectacular. 5-0, 1.40 ERA, 161 opponents batting average. He's very good on the road too. Just his win-loss record's not as good. And opponents batting average trading a little more than him. 1-4, 1.35 ERA, 200 opponents batting average. Rockies versus lefties, 274, 809 OPS over the last 30 days. They're smashing them. Smashing them. And the Pamper Pop play of the day is in. Pamper Pop play of the day is in. And LJ from H-Town says Phillies have 3 or more runs, 6 out of the last 10. First 5 record, last 10 first 5s. Okay, and 7-4-1 record last 10. Phillies team total over 2.5. Sean says, so there isn't that much value backing Suarez because he won't get run support. I don't know if it's that black and white. But the Phillies, 232, 723 OPS versus righties last 3 days is not good. And the Rockies have a bullpen advantage as well. 4.17 ERA, 1.26 whip over the last 30 days. Phillies bullpen been bad all year. 4.62 ERA, 1.30 whip. And Danzo says the roof is closed, which is what I was hoping for. Okay, so let's dive in a little more. Against Senzatella, the Phillies are hitting 218 with a 608 OPS. And only 2 batters have seen Suarez. They're 0 for 3 against them, so that doesn't help there. Then we go back to this market. So this 4.5 has dropped to 4. The first 5 has dropped to 4. Interesting at Pinnacle. So I expect the other books to follow suit. If you are interested in under, that 4.5 not going to be around for much longer. The full game's already gone from 8.5 to 8. The Phillies have gone, there's been a 2-cent move to the Colorado Rockies. A 2-cent move to the Colorado Rockies. Robert Cherry says Harper for the Jack of the day. There's Colv Coleone, the Vegas king in the house. Colv, my man, it is great to see you. OG Lowbagger rolling with us. Okay, so then let's take a look at the cash. And look at that. Von Polo on Rockies minus 1.5. 3,682 tickets in. 86% of the tickets, 79% of the cash on the Phillies, and the 2-cent move to the Rockies. And then 70% of the tickets on the over and 93% of the cash on the over. And it's, you can imagine they probably moved in at 8. Razor Sharp Pick says, I need Phillies to win for my division pick. LJ from H-Town, this is a great stat. Rockies 3-19 first game of a road series. Look, the Phillies are the most likely winner of this baseball game. But there's enough red flags for me not to want them as this big of a favorite. And there's enough doubt in the Colorado Rockies 18-50 on the road and Sensatella being worse on the road than he's at home to make me not want to back them. So when it comes down to it, I move past it. Next up for us, 7:05 p.m. Eastern, Kansas City Royals, Baltimore Orioles, and it looks as if it's Carlos Hernandez and Jimmy the Bag against the Sharps. God, I'm going to get my Carlos Hernandez jersey soon. I want a road one. Because on the road, the guy's a monster. 180 opponent's batting average. Carlos Hernandez is just going to get better and better and better. He's a bulldog on him. He's big and scary, and now he's got movement. Looks like he can just pitch forever. You never see a decline in his velocity. And I've fallen in love with the man. And I expect him to get us paid here. And I don't care if the Sharps are on the other side. Now, we'll see. We'll see. Maybe my love for Carlos Hernandez is going to cost me money. We will see. But I have fallen for him. I told you guys to back him last start it was at home versus the White Sox, and it was a 7-2 winner. Easy. Pimp Slap play today is in. Pimp Slap play in the Henry Dice on Royals first 5 money line with me. I love that. Joe Yurkovich, first 5 under 4.5. Which game is that, Joe? Is that the game we just broke that down? And Mike M, Pimp Slap play today, Kansas City Royals first 5 plus a half for Mike M. Pop that here. And I get why the Sharps are on the Orioles. You see early movement, early money was on the Royals. And then it looked like the Sharps came in, or somebody came in and started betting the Orioles at home. But look at John Means' splits. Oh, Orioles, Joe. I looked at that for a long time, Joe, and that could add to my card. My fear was amongst the splits here. John Means at home, 1-3, 5.01 ERA, 254 points batting average. On the road, he's been awesome. 4-3, 2.48 ERA, 195 opponents batting average. 70 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, 5 miles per hour, sideways here at Camden. And John Means coming off a 5-inning, 3-hit, 2-earned run, 1 homer, 2-walk, 5K, 4-3 extra inning loss at the Yankees. We cashed the first 5-inning under in that Yankees spot. Rez Mob, you're damn right, you're old school low bagger. My guy Rez Mob in the house. I love seeing you guys, man. Love it. So I like your look, Joe. I like your look. So let's dive in a little bit deeper here. But the Royals are hitting lefties, 279, nice average, not a ton of power, 751 OPS last 30 days. Orioles are hitting righties hard, 254, 779 OPS. Royals bullpen has been looking very good second half of the season. 3.42 ERA, 1.19 whip. Orioles bullpen, 5.34 ERA, 1.35 whip. Mr. Gokster says mixing in a no-run first inning. Von Polo, if you like the Cowboys, wait. If you can wait, the longer you can wait, the more discipline you can show waiting, the more you're going to get out of it. All right, so let's pull up this market here. So still, from the opening line, there still has been an 11-cent move to the Royals, which I like to see. So it's not all comeback. This total's gone down a full run, which means I don't think that the first 5 is going to be available for me. I think that 4.5 is going to be long gone. Oh, God, it moved at 8:19 a.m. at Bet Online to 4.5. Let's see, is Pinnacle going to show me it? Yes, it is. Pinnacle had it at 5 until 8:30 in the morning. Frustrating. CT Base says, can't wait on the Panthers. Yeah, I bet them at the absolute worst time. Sean Thompson said Hernandez is fired. Doesn't mean Royals win, but I'm on it. I agree. I think that's well put. Sean Thompson is on Cleveland, Twins over 9, Jays money line, Oakland White Sox under 8.5, Rockies money line, and Royals money line. I agree. This, just because we have this advantage here. Well, no, I didn't even know if it's advantage. Just because we have the pitcher that we want on the mound for the Royals doesn't mean that we're going to cash this spot. But when the market was moving back to the Orioles, it didn't scare me. It didn't scare me. So did we just look at baseball data? No. Against Carlos Hernandez, they're 3 for 14 with 3 singles. Against Baltimore, or the Royals against means 8 for 23. So they're 348 with an 878 OPS. I don't want to invest too much in this game. Joe Yervin says teams can't hit good pitchers. They only smash bad ones. This is why they're bad teams. I like that. Okay. All right. So let's move over to the cash flow. And I'm interested in what the money is on this total. Here we go. 2,786 tickets in. 72% of the tickets, 65% of the cash on the Royals. Then we have 53% of tickets and 96% of cash on the over. I'm not going to add to this. I've got enough invested on the Royals first 5 full game. I'm going to leave it at that. Pimp slap play of the days on the Royals first 5 plus a half. I'm on them first 5 full game. I got first 5 plus 105, which was a nice spot. And full game I got minus 105, which I could have got better had I have waited. Okay, there we go. We move on to 7:05 p.m. Eastern. We have 2 games left on the card before DJ Big Boss joins us. The Kraken play of the day from Mark Sports Betting is the Jays money line. Berrios versus Nestor Cortez Jr., 2 pitchers I like very much. It also happens to be time for none other than Jose Seje play of the day. The Seje play of the day from our man Jose is working. He's back in plus units. Look at him celebrating there. The Seje play of the day is rolling, but I have noticed a couple things about the Seje play of the day, and we'll talk about Jose. We'll talk about it with Jose right now. Please welcome to the show, Jose Bouquet, everybody. Jose, how are you?
Jimmy, I'm doing well. Another winner last night. Last night was a little scary. We went against Matty Ice, one of the rare times when we come out victorious, but it was a good night overall. Can't complain.
It was. Jose, I have noticed that when you're dealing with adversity, when you must win, when you're on your knees, your back's against the wall, and there are balls in your mouth, you give us a winner.
It's true.
When you start feeling good about yourself, you slip.
That's true also.
So I want you to keep this serious tone. I want you to be more than a half unit in the black. I don't want you to hang around mediocrity. I want you to succeed with great measure. And I believe you can do that the more serious you take this. So, Jose, let's get to work. Berrios versus Nestor Cortez. I like Nestor Cortez a lot. Coming off a 4-3 extra inning win at home versus the Orioles. 5 2/3, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 1 homer, 2 walks, 7 Ks, 1.08 whip, 2.67 ERA. And on the road, he's been middling. At home, he's been very good. 1-0, 1.72 ERA, 178 opponent's batting average. I'm just going to set the table for you, and then we're going to see where you are going to go here. The table is this total opened up at 9.5. It's dropped a full run to 8.5. And no movement on Cortez at Pinnacle. Opens at minus 114, sitting at minus 114. Jose, Jays, Yankees in the Bronx. Light rain. 4 miles per hour sideways, 69 Fahrenheit. Take it away.
Yeah, so Jose Berrios is not a guy I've been in on this whole time. He gets particularly crushed against all of the AL East opponents that he happens to have to play now all the time. So makes the Blue Jays trade interesting. Has not been exactly what they've been hoping for. And Jimmy, you've watched him. When he's got his shit, he's great. But when he doesn't, you know immediately, and it's a very bad time. I'm expecting another one of those starts here today. He has over a 9 ERA at Yankee Stadium for his career. A 9. Closer to 10. So give me the Yankees money line today. I'm taking my cousin, Nestor Cortez. Me and him, we're going to ride off into the sunset like you and I did last night, Jimmy. It's going to be a good time. So give me Yankees money line. I think they break their shitty streak. I'll flip it. Last night I went against the Yankees today. I think they come out and they win.
Very interesting take. Jays versus lefties, 254, 779 OPS over the last 30 days. Nathan Cerna says feeling like a Yank spot. We got Maxwell Smart joining us too, eating microwave bacon like a champion. Yankees versus righties last 30 days, 237, 758 OPS. Jays bullpen, 3.94 ERA 1.24 whip last 30 days. And Yankees bullpen, 3.73 ERA 1.28 whip. Dommy Gunrici says it is raining now. Not sure about later. We'll move on to the baseball data here. Against Barrios, these Yankees are hitting 255 with a 733 OPS. 13 for 51 with 4 extra base hits, 2 of them homers. Against Cortez, 348 with a 1.226 OPS. Joe Yurkovich says, in division at home, trying to avoid being swept means something. You have to get plus odds, though. Yankees minus 1.5 at plus 170. Sean Thompson says Jays are streaking. Ride it. All right.
Yeah, I like the idea, Sean, but, streaks have to end eventually. This Yankees team, now in third place against the Red Sox, they are now going to start feeling the pressure. They were feeling great about themselves. They had their win streak. Now they started sucking. I think they definitely have to bounce back in this game. I mean, it is a must-win for the Yankees. And let me remind people again, these are Jose Barrios' stats at Yankee Stadium with career 0-2, 9.82 ERA, and 7 innings pitched, 11 hits, 8 earned runs. Only bad things happen for Jose when he goes to Yankee Stadium. So I really think that he gets touched up here today.
The jury is certainly out on his mental toughness. We don't know at this point. 4,161 tickets in, 49% of the tickets on the Yankees, 63% of the cash on the Yankees. Then 71% of the tickets on the over, 68% of the cash on the over. Ooh-wee. This is a wildly exciting spot for you. Remo says playoff atmosphere feels like an under tonight. And what was that market move on the total? Dropped a full run. Wild, wild, wild. Jose, you've been stern, serious, and I respect that. I don't know if I will be fully cheering for you because I would like the Jays to make the playoffs, but if the Jays don't make the playoffs, we'll get a better number on betting them next year.
I hope they don't. Really don't want to play the Jays in the playoffs. So, and this series is really determines who's going to play in that second wild card game with the first wild card game with the Red Sox. So, it's going to be very, very interesting to watch. Jimmy, I have a question for you real fast.
Sure.
Baseball season is coming thin. We're running out of games. We had a little bit of a short card today. You haven't not seen college football Jose, huh? College football Jose is a dangerous man.
Really?
Let me tell you, I have won in the last 2 week ones, Jimmy. I have won I would say over $3,000 just betting on UTSA. These fucking guys. I bet against them as underdogs against Texas State, who they beat every year last year. Me and my friends, we all combined for over $2,200 ticket in Vegas. Shout out to us. And I did it again last week when I was on my bender, as everyone likes to call it. I bet them a straight up and against the spread against the motherfuckers Illinois. So UTSA, guys, I'm telling you, when college football comes around even more, like maybe tomorrow, I'll be giving out perhaps a college football play of the day instead of a baseball. Who knows?
Well, you have piqued our interest, Jose. We will track your action as always, and I want you to be up over a unit when we come back here tomorrow. So best of luck with your Yankees bet. There he is, Jose Bouquet. Say hey, play of the day, back in the black. Feeling good about himself. Keep up the good work, Jose. Thank you for sharing your insights.
Let's do it, Jimmy.
There he is, Jose Bouquet. Say hey, play of the day. I'm not moving on that game. Let's go to my fourth and final spot on this card with bets that I made before the show started. There's Trot Wham in the house. Washington Nationals, 58-81, 25-42 on the road at Atlanta Braves, 73-65, 34-33 at home. Noli Note says, I'm surprised you allowed him to finish the UTSA rant. Can't just cut him off every time. It's got to, I want him to feel comfortable. I want him to think that maybe he's not going to get cut off anymore and then slit his throat with a sharpened chopstick. Braves -1.5 at -120. I'm on the big favorite. I trust the big favorite. 77 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, 9 miles per hour to center. I do not trust Eric Fetty at all. At all. Life on Post says, do you think I'm okay taking Ohio State and Boston College? I love the Ohio State game, and I'm working on it hard. So I will have that for Friday. And then Boston College, real deal, Brian. That's so funny. And then the Boston College, I need to work on it longer. Okay. Fetty, I do not trust him. And Viper has my back on this. 3 innings, 9 hits, 7 runs, 4 of which were in 1 homer, 1 walk, 2 Ks, and 11-9 loss at home versus the Mets last out. Do not trust him. Do not like him. Oscar Inoa at home has been excellent. 3-2, 2.29 ERA, 160 opponent's batting average. On the year, a 1 whip, 3.19 ERA, 71 K, 67 2/3. I like the kid. Last start at Colorado in the thin air, Coors Field, and I did not expect him to be lights out, and he wasn't. But it wasn't a terrible performance. 5 2/3, 5 hits, 4 earned runs, 1 homer, 1 walk, 5 Ks, and a 4-3 loss at the Rockies. We faded him. We cashed with the Rockies first 5. Nats versus righties last 30 days, 254, 747 OPS. Braves versus righties, 237, 759 OPS. Sort of a wash. Then Braves bullpen has been quite good. Quite good. Sean Thompson told you all to fade Atlanta yesterday. I hope you're just focusing on yesterday here. Nathan says Braves gave him the shaft yesterday. Sean Thompson says Nationals play Braves tough home or away. Yes, they do. But I like Inoa on the mound at home after pitching in the thin air of Colorado. I think he's going to have a nice start here. I think Fetty is vulnerable, and I wouldn't be so, a -1, a Braves first 5 -1 is maybe something that I add to this. I'll just check a couple more stats to stay confident, but that's my plan. Deacon Mike says, wind blowing out in Atlanta. Yes, 9 miles per hour to straightaway center. 4 homers hit last night. Pitching matchups tonight have given up 3 home runs. So Robert Chase says, sleepy spot for the Nats. Got a weird feeling. I see it when they play the Mets and Freddie started. And Mr. Goku says Atlanta scored first smooth. Okay, so here we go. Let's take a look at the market in this game, and then we will be moving on to college football. The Braves open up at -207. They're just -208. What the hell happened? Wow. So there's been a move in the last hour and a half to the Nats. It got up to -221. Oh, fuck. I do not like that at all. Against Fetty, these Braves are hitting 349 with a 975 OPS. Against Inoa, 167, 417 OPS. And I hope that it's just, Sharps thinking that they shouldn't be this big of a dog. I hope that's the case. 3,745 tickets in, 75% of the tickets, 92% of cash on the Braves, and now they're becoming easier to bet. 42% of tickets on the under and 72% of cash on the under. I cannot double up here. And Dommy Gun Ricci says, Fetty is tricky. Good live dog here. Okay. And then Joe says, check the Braves bats versus Fetty. Sean Thompson outlined the first 5 Nats full game. Tatsuki in the house. Great to see you. God, that caught me by surprise. Okay. I am not going to double up. So I'm just going to stick with that full game bet that may now not be good enough. Mark Nick on Dodgers first 5. White Sox team total over 3.5. O's Royals over 7.5. Phils Rockies over 8. See you with the window. Respect, Mark. Okay, so there is our MLB breakdown. It's time to move on to college football, and I can't wait for that. Let's review MLB coming off a 4 and 3 day plus 0.60 units. But yesterday, coming into the show, is my low water mark of the season. And it just sucks looking at this record now when we had been doing so much good this year. 302 wins, 284 losses, 51.5%. Those of you who are long-time cappers know that 51.5% against the VIG is not going to give you a profit. My average line's bad in baseball, -111, down 15.87 units, ROI -2.71%. Disappointing. The spreadsheet play of the day from Ron Crawford. He's got 2 of them. The first one's on the Dodgers at -157. And yes, I lean under. I would like to see him move towards the under, and it's happening now. It's happening now, the move towards the under 9. Sharon Sure, Sharon. Sorry, Sharon. Thank you for joining us. CD base is not on the Nats or the over, but we'll be looking for Nats overs down the stretch. So I think that this under is probably a nice spot in the daytime here. And if it's a Dodgers bullpen day, you know what? I don't know if I'm going to pull the trigger on it. It's just a lean at the under at this point. Ron Crawford, spreadsheet number 2, play of the day. It's the Chicago White Sox, dog spot, and I get it. Matty Ice, Taint, play of the day. It's Indians first 5 -0.5. TJ's play of the day is the Indians full game. And Joey Yurkovich is on the Indians -1.5 at plus 149, I believe. Jeffrey Blue Balls play of the day is Mets team total over 4. Razor Sharp Picks going for 6 straight gamblers. First glance winners is on the under 7.5. I'm on the first 5 under 4. Robert Cherry Pamper Pop play of the day sitting at 19-7 is on the Suarez over 4.5 strikeouts. Pamper Pop play of the day. Then Mike M's Pimp Slap play of the day. Kansas City Royals first 5 +0.5. I'm on the Royals first 5 full game of first 5 plus 105 full game -105. And you guys know I love Carlos Hernandez. Then Mark Sports Betting Kraken play today. Jay's money line. And Jose is on the Yankees. Jose, what was your line that you got? I didn't write it in.
Jim, that's an excellent question. I believe you said earlier it was -114. I'll double check for you real quick.
Thank you.
It is, in fact, -114. Full game as well. We're not taking that first 5 bullshit. Full game.
I like it. Thank you. There's Jose's say hey play of the day. Nats Braves. I'm on the Braves -1.5 and -120. And I was thinking of taking them first 5 -1. I will not do that with the late movement going back over to these Nats. All right. There you go. I can't wait for what's next. We move on to college football where we're running hot. Jesus. 14-3. 82.4% plus 10.7 units. ROI plus 62.94%. Average line -110. Ooh, wee. Shit. That's a good looking record. And it took us, It took us 15 games. It took us 15 games to get to double-digit units this year. 15 games. God damn. Dommy Gun Ricci's on the Royals -103. Phillies run line -105 so far. Okay. And CT Base has got UTEP plus 27.5 on Monday, but I still like it at plus 26. And very important, I gave you guys UAB on Tuesday. And now Daniels looks like Georgia's quarterback's not going to be there starting. So I haven't looked at the huge swing, but it might be so huge that I might want to try and middle this. Let's just take a quick look at it. I'm going to pull up the NCAA odds page here, and let's just take a quick look at that before we bring on your expert, whom I can't wait to see. So with no TJ Daniels in that UAB game, it's at 335 or some shit. This should be right here. UAB. Fuck are you, UAB? All right, it's going to take me a second to find them with all these games here. Oh, there it is. No, just down to 24. Wow. I imagine that he's going to be announced out, and it'll go down more and more. Jerry Silky Man says, hope y'all tailed them 2 plays I gave out. San Francisco team total over 6. Jay's under first 5. That a boy. Silky Man in the house. All right. Thank you, Mark Schlingberg. All right. It is time to bring on your NCAA football expert. In the Mountain West is where he does it best, but he delivers the magic all across the land. Please welcome to the show none other than DJ Big Boss.
What up, Dow, Jimmy? Welcome to my new establishment right here, Jimmy. I'm right here at McBoss Burgers. Y'all already know what it is, right here where you can get the 1 for 3 deal, okay? That's buy 3 and we give you 1. And just at it, we got the Jimmy the Bag special. And guess what? it don't come with a bag. We put your burger in your hand, your cups in the fries, and some dirty water in your pocket. You know what I'm saying? And coming soon, we're going to have our shakes up there too. We're going to have the McPubbin shake. That's a chocolate and peanut butter shake with Red Bull because we get turned up. What's up, Jimmy? How you feeling today?
Oh, fucking Mando, baby. I'm doing fucking Mando, baby. I love seeing you on the show. A great roll off the top. And we love you dearly, DJ Big Boss. And you've started off hot as well. Feels like we've all started off hot in college football. I would like to attack immediately. Are you ready to get to work?
Hey, let's go for it.
We start Friday, September 10th at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. UTEP Miners 2-0 on the year at Boise State Broncos 0-1. Albertson Stadium in Boise, Idaho. I'm going to start with the line. Then we'll move towards the cash. Then I'll tell you what I'm thinking with a little bit of a backdrop. And then we'll let our man, Big Boss, roll. So we have 3,631 tickets in. This is very interesting. 55% of the tickets on the spread are on Boise State, but just 29% of the cash is. Big bets coming in on UTEP. Then we have 37% of the tickets on the under and 62% of the cash on that under. We have UTEP opening up as 27-point dogs. You could have got a 27.5 like our guy CT Bays, and they're now 26 across the board. Then we have the total opening up at 55. It's now at 56 or 56.5. So it's tricky, and I can't wait to hear your breakdown. It's tricky when you have a team like UTEP look very good in that week 0 matchup where we had them first half and full game against New Mexico State, who didn't play last year. Then they go to FCS Bethune-Cookman in their home opener at Sun Bowl Stadium, and it was a very underwhelming performance, 38-28. They turned the ball over twice. They were 25% on third down. Hardison throws for just 183 yards, gets 3 touchdown passes. Now their rushing attack looked deadly, 290 yards on 50 carries. And that's Awatt and Eldridge doing a monstrous work there. Tyron Smith, Justin Garrett, Jacob Cowing, 144 yards combined receiving. The Broncos had to go through that 3-hour weather delay before losing 36-31 to UCF on Thursday night. They sprint out to the 21-0 lead. Looks like Andy Avalos in his head coaching debut is going to get the W. And then something that you mentioned on the show that they wore down in the humidity. And they wore down, and that was something that you expected from them. They ended up getting just gashed on defense badly. 573 yards the Knights put on them. Bachmeier was good as we expected. They only got 20 yards running. It was strange. It was a strange game. And my first thoughts before I saw all this action on UTEP was I think Boise State's going to come out angry and possibly undervalued. But I'm now concerned after seeing how much of the cash is on UTEP. But my only thoughts were Boise State first half team total over or Boise State first half. I'm very interested in this here. UTEP, Boise State, DJ Big Boss, take it away.
Well, first off, this is going to be first time for Boise State with a full crowd to capacity. And, little old Boise right there, everybody's going to show up for the game. Supposedly they took out some ads and put in some performers because they really trying to get turned up over there. So I think the number went high because it's going to be a home opener for them. And I think they'll play good. They played a really solid first half. I think, all those elements count. The 3-hour delay, all that. I think that all counts. But tremendously at the end, it came down to coaching. You know what I'm saying? Gus, a lot better than Andy, and he led his troops to the W in that one. But, they got a kind of lackadaisical in the second half. But that's because the offense is not finely tuned. The public has a perception that because they have a returning quarterbacks, some talent at receiver, that they're going to be this team that's just going to put up points. But we haven't been getting that. They've been kind of sticking to the run, and reason why we haven't been getting that because Andy Avalos, he's a defensive guy in the first place. So he comes in there. He played pretty good defense that first half. I was really impressed. Just couldn't believe that they let it go in that second half. So going into this game, I think the defense shows up, but I think the offense still not fine-tuned yet. They're not sure if Helani's going to play or not, all kinds of stuff as far as their running game. Coach said blocking didn't look as good as he expected, and he's going into this game expecting the other team to run. He said that he seemed they had a decent running game. So I think this game is going to be pretty slow, overall. And first half, I like the under. I think it's at 29.5. I think that gives us a good value right there, first half under. I'm not sure what the market has now, but I think I seen it at 29. What we got out there?
That's a very interesting look. It's moved up to 30.5 now. Pinnacle hasn't moved it off to 29.5. Bet Online's moved to 30. Bodog at 30. All the other books at 30.5. Wow, that's a very interesting look. The only note says Boise was outgained 573 to 263. Sean says the play calls have been terrible, dreadful for Boise. Wow, that first half under is a very interesting look. So you think that Boise State in the first half doesn't come out and smash? You think it's a ball control, stuffing defensively, slow moving, kind of a dominating performance in that way?
The team hasn't developed enough to go in the game saying, we're going to just throw it over here. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. Andy Avalos is a defensive guy. He's going to enter the game relying on his defense. So I believe he's already planning on stopping these guys on the run. He said they got like 6 yards a pop last week. So he's already expecting to catch these guys on the run. I think Boise State defensive line and their defensive front could slow them down a little bit. So they'll be running the ball, unless, miraculously Boise gets the offense together and they just come out gunslinging, which I truly doubt because they got a lot of pieces to fix in that offense, and Andy got to rely on the defense. So let's just jump in first half, get the under, and get out of there.
Very, very interesting breakdown. I love it. Love it. Okay, there you go. A first half under for Big Boss, and this is going to take more study for me, but I love all that information. Let's move on. We stay in the Mountain West for now, and we head over to Saturday, September 11th. And for those of you watching, we're going to do Mountain West and Notre Dame, Northern Illinois. Wow. Beating Georgia Tech 22-21, 19-point dogs. Rocky Lombardi coming over. And, he didn't put up big numbers, but he was in control. He was poised, and he did what he had to do to get them the W. 11 for 17, 136 yards, 2 touchdowns. Wyoming Cowboys at Northern Illinois. We're at Husky Stadium in DeKalb, Illinois. And I know that the general idea when a team puts off a giant upset is to fade them the next week, but I'm not sure if this falls under that situation. Let's just take a look at the market and the cash and then see what is going on. Max says Wyoming lucky they won with a putrid performance. It was a disastrous performance, the very opposite. But let's break this down more before I jump too much into that. Let's go to the odds, and why can't I get this? Oh, because at 130. Okay, sorry. Here we go. I'm at first half. The first half, Wyoming opens up as 3-point favorites. That's 3.5 or 4. Let's go to full game spreads and totals right here for Wyoming, Northern Illinois. And we have coming up here in a second. Here we go. We have Wyoming opening up as 5.5-point favorites. They're now 7-point favorites. This total has gone from 45.5 down to 44. So Harrison Whaley looked awesome. 27 carries for 144 yards. Just Georgia Tech knew what was coming. And Rocky Lombardi just kept going back to it, and I liked it. I liked it. He looked excellent. And then Max has led us into this underwhelming 1916 win over Montana State for Wyoming. They came in as 19-point favorites. It was Montana State was up 7-3 going into the fourth quarter. Sean Chambers, 15 of 26 for 196 yards. Valladay, 19 carries for 77 yards. Eberhardt caught 4 passes for 71 yards. It was not a good performance. So from a gambling perspective, you would think, oh, this is the perfect buy low spot on Wyoming. But I don't know if I feel that way. Let's see if we have any ticket information here for this spot. And we do very little. 1,475 tickets in. 69% of the tickets and 83% of the cash on Wyoming. Then we have 57% of tickets on the under, and we don't know the cash flow. This is fascinating, and I can't wait to hear your breakdown. Wyoming, Northern Illinois, take it away.
This one is interesting, man. The MAC and the Sun Belt, right? So that's a weird combination right there off top. Now, looking at NIU, man, they look good going in this game. Wyoming looked bad going into this, from the last game right here. So I kind of wanted to back Wyoming because we all know Wyoming plays that physical defense, and that's going to be something that Northern Illinois is not used to. So they're going to have to adjust to that. Which could cause some, it's a real physical, brutal defense they have out there at Wyoming. They pass cover well, they hit you up front. Coach Craig Boyle been doing this one for a while, but the problem is on offense. So Boyle say coming off the field, he felt like things got together, eventually, and the offense came around, but they only scored a couple points to a small school, so it didn't look well at all. I really wanted to come out and back Wyoming as well. I mean, I guess the market and the book say, they bounce back. They highly predicted to come like top 3 in the Mountain West, but I don't think they get it done. They're using Sean Chambers again. He's giving them the same thing he's been giving them for the last few years. We just waiting a couple more games before he tweaks his leg or something and have to sit out. So I don't trust Wyoming's offense at all. So if I would lay aside, I would probably go NIU. But at the same time, I like the under because I like the effect of Wyoming's physical defense. Northern Illinois stepping out of the pocket a little bit to come play this type of team. So I think it slows it down for a little bit right there. And then Wyoming offense is going to struggle. But guess what? They got a great kicking game. They can kick pinpointed on the field and all that good stuff. So another game for Wyoming. Why not? As low as they scored the last game, we might as well keep rolling the under on this one. It's already set low, so the books did half the homework for you. So go ahead, take that under in that one. But I do, if on the side, I do starting to lean Northern Illinois. It might be a good spot for them, especially catches a few points.
That was my thought, but I'm surprised, and I guess it's because it's sharp money that comes in so early in the week in college football, and the idea from any longtime gambler would be fade the team off the giant upset. You know that you're buying low on Wyoming and selling high on Northern Illinois Huskies. So I guess this is going to take more time for me as well, but that under does make a ton of sense. No one knows, also liking that under. CT Bays on that under. Very, very, very interesting. I love it. Great breakdown. Abel Alvarez, we're going to close up on the NFL game, so don't worry about that. But we are focusing on college football right now, and we get to Notre Dame. We love capping Notre Dame football with our man DJ Big Boss. Toledo Rockets at Notre Dame Fighting Irish. We're at Notre Dame Stadium. Toledo started the year off with very comfortable 49-10 rout of FCS Norfolk State last week in the Glass Bowl. Let's see what we are dealing with from a odds perspective. 2:30 Eastern. Notre Dame opening up at 18.5. It's 17s across the board. We know it was 16.5 yesterday. It was 16.5 immediately. This total opens up at 52.5. It's now up to 55.5 or 56. Let's go to the cash flow here in this spot. 230. There it is. 6,052 tickets in. We have 74% of the ticket. Oh, that's money line. Sorry. Spread. We have 54% of the tickets on Notre Dame, 47% of the cash. Then we have 30% of the tickets and 66% of the cash on the under. Now we don't know when they got in, at what spot. So the Rockets had a really nice balanced attack. They were running the ball well, throwing the ball well. Yes, it was an FCS opponent, but they looked good. 205 rushing yards, 236 yards through the air. Notre Dame had an 18-point lead at Florida State going into the fourth quarter, but needed overtime to squeak it out. And I broke the game down in a chat I have with a bunch of guys and was afraid to bet it. And the breakdown I had was right. And Notre Dame's defense is much worse than it was last year. And I think Notre Dame's offense is better than it was last year because I like fourth quarter. I immediately thought Notre Dame had value. I thought this was a buy low spot on Notre Dame because Freeman better get this shit together immediately. And I think that Notre Dame team total over is going to be in play because I believe in Cohen. Take it away, Big Boss. Very exciting game. Toledo, Notre Dame. Oh, you're on mute, my man. There we go.
I have to go ahead and disagree on our defense being worse. Defense played okay. We slipped up in that last little bit, fatigue, weather, all those kind of things came into play. Wonderful thing. Kelly put us in position to win. These guys just failed. Now, I'm not high on Notre Dame this year, winning a whole lot of games. I think we can slip up. I think last time I seen it was at like 17. I'm not sure if I want to lay 17 with Notre Dame. But what I really do like about this team and where you're right, Jimmy, is that going to go over, man. This game's going to go over. I'm gonna ride the overs on Notre Dame in some of these games and see how it works out for me. I get back with you in the 5th game of the season, but my edge is that Tommy Reeves, the offensive coordinator last year, he received a nice running game and a nice offensive line. So coming in his first year, he took advantage of that and he rolled with the running side of the things. But this year he gets, I guess, a quarterback you could say he picked and all this good kind of stuff. And he gets to throw the ball around a little bit more. And if you've seen the game, we threw the ball around a little bit more. And we got some good targets at tight end. We always going to get some wideouts. We didn't run as well as we should have, but the running game can open. We didn't block as well as we should have blocked. And they could work on that as well. So, I mean, it looks promising. But I think in the big games, we definitely fold this year because, as you see, we try to let off the gas a little bit in the second half, lost a 17-point lead in like 4 minutes or something like that. That's just miraculous. I'm not going to look at that as like bad coaching. I just look at that as a lack of luster for the players. I mean, they should want to win, especially on the road like that, real good. But right here coming to the house, we got a bunch of home wins in a row. So I don't know what the number is, but Notre Dame been winning at home. So I know we definitely should win this game. I'm not willing to lay the 17. I love the over in this. Maybe over first half or try over first quarter should be a good one because another one of my edges from always back is that we always score a touchdown in the first quarter. So I say over first quarter and over full game in that one.
CT Bay says some high wind expected in a few Midwest games this weekend. Watch for some unders in those spots. I am concerned to get in on this number from the opening at 52 all the way up to 55.5, 56. And I'm concerned when I see that 66% of the cash is on the under. That concerns me. And should I be concerned?
Nah, man. I like that look. The public, they're going to go with that win perspective and all the weather and all that all the time. Like me, I Noli knows has taught me like I have to cap weather to some degree, but you can't predict the weather. Like you're gonna throw the ball if you need to throw the ball. They throw 50-yard bombs in the snow. So I wouldn't say that a little wind. What kind of wind? At what time is the wind gonna be there? Like it's so many factors to that. If the public want to dive in on that one, yeah, I want to be on the other side.
And on Sunday right now, Saturday, isn't it? Sorry, my fault. On Saturday, there's 17 to 16 miles per hour wind. Very, very interesting. Very interesting. Well, this is also going to take more time for me before I drop something. But Notre Dame team total over was my plan, and I probably will stick to it. Okay, let's move on. Great breakdown. Next up, we have the Commander-in-Chief, leg one of the Commander-in-Chief trophy here at Air Force Falcons, 1-0 at Navy midshipmen who are owned by Memorial Stadium in Annapolis, Maryland. So we know what happens when these teams get together. It's unders. They've cashed seven of the last 9. They are 37-9 when the service academies face off. But we've had 2 very different starts to this year with these 2 teams. Air Force also, well, first off, Air Force destroyed Navy last year, 40-7. Then Navy opens up getting shit kicked by Marshall, 49-7, and they looked awful. Sure, they ran for 337 yards through the air. They were 5 for 16 through the air for 61 yards and 2 picks. Air Force opened the season with a 35-14 win over FCS Lafayette. They returned 9 starters on defense and expect to be strong on defense. Let's take a look at the market here and then let Big Boss take it away. 3:30, this game goes off, and here we go. Air Force opens up to 6.5-point favorites. That's down to 6 or 5.5. So money coming in on Navy. This total is already dropped. Opened at 44.5 and is all the way down to 40.5 already. So we're not fooling anybody with this total. Now we go to the cash flow. This game at 3:30, we have 2,370 tickets in. On the spread, 63% of the tickets, but 56% of the cash on the Air Force. And then on the total, 62% of the tickets are on the under, but just 36% of the cash. Maybe a feeling that this has gone too low at this point. DJ Big Boss, Air Force, Navy, midshipman, take it away.
Hey, I'm gonna save us a whole lot of words on this one because I really don't care for the military games. I'm always on the wrong side when I try to pick a side. But last year, I did an experiment off of some information that I came across. Is that a huge percentage of those military games go under? It's almost a good thing every time just to take the under. So I definitely take the under in this one. That's about it.
Yeah, I mean, it just seems like it's the most simple, rewarding bet in sports is service academies, bet the under, triple option, bet the under.
Under.
But this should have been bet as soon as it came out at 44.5, which I saw a lot of people do. Now it's at 41, and I don't want to really be sitting here on the ass end of the line. Puzzler says Air Force will slaughter Navy, and yet we have this move towards Navy. Do you have any idea why there would be a move towards Navy in the marketplace right now?
I have no idea because we never know what we're going to get with the Navy team. They play different from week to week. Air Force is a little more solid team. Only thing that when I capped Air Force out earlier this season is that nothing really moves too much around, over there. I mean, they change in clientele, but they do the same thing. So they still don't have a good passer. So they're going to continue to be on the ground. Air Force will always only be as good as they can throw because they run the option and they play defense well. So it all comes down to, in those 3rd and long situations and, once they got them on their heels, can they play action and complete a pass? So this Air Force team came out with a nice victory in week 1. I think they could take the Navy, no doubt, but I'm going to ride with that under. That's way more value in that.
Great job by Abel Alvarez getting the 44.5. Nice job. All right, let's move on from that spot. I'm going to, again, need a little bit more time. I thought I'd be hammering. I thought I'd be making moves on all these here live during the show, but looks like, and also when you start hitting over 80%, you get a little tighter. 7 p.m. Eastern. Next up, we go to Dream Style Stadium in Albuquerque, New Mexico. New Mexico State Aggies versus New Mexico Lobos. And let's start with the market and the cash. This game pops off at 7 p.m. Eastern. We have not a lot of spreads out yet. It looks like it's going to be a 19-point favorite for New Mexico State. This total opened up at 53, and it shot up to 55.5 or 56. I doubt we have many tickets in on this spot, but let's just take a peek and see if we do. And we don't at this point. So not enough tickets in. Okay. The Aggies 0-2, and it was the perfect gambling situation. We knew they were going to be absolute trash week 1 because they didn't play last year. They were. And we knew that they were going to be better than expected week 2 because the market would be just so down on them. So they looked okay against San Diego State Aztecs. Lose 28-10. Jonah Johnson, 34-56 for 326 yards, 1 touchdown. He did have 3 picks, but they looked better. They ran the football 26 times for just 80 or 48 yards, but San Diego State still has that strong run defense. So the Lobos come in after a 27-17 win over Houston Baptist Huskies. I mean, it's just hard to get a feel for them with that game. Terry Wilson, 174 yards, 20 of 26, but against Houston Baptist. So we sit here with New Mexico State being 19-point favorites. Do they deserve that? Do you have any interest in betting them?
I'm not. I'm kind of weary on the side. I mean, the numbers up there high enough to take it, but technically in the interstate rival like this, you're supposed to take those points because who knows what could happen. But New Mexico thumped New Mexico State year in, year out. I'm kind of high on New Mexico because of Danny Gonzalez and Rocky Long. You know, Rocky Long's over there. It's basically like his second year there. So they're running that 3-3-5 really good, just like San Diego State ran it. So New Mexico State scored 10 points against San Diego State with the 3-3-5. And they're going to be looking at the same defense this year, maybe even a little more tight-tuned because it's Rocky Long's defense. So, of course, with that defensive edge right there, I definitely like the under in this game. But as far as laying the 19, I would lay the 19. I think they'll do a better job than San Diego State maybe on New Mexico State this week as far as running that defense. So they may pitch a shutout or maybe one touchdown, something like that. But on offense, I don't know what we're going to get from New Mexico. That's the problem. So Danny Gonzalez, that's supposed to be his side of the ball where he's supposed to try to put this together. So having a guy like Rocky Long taking care of the defense, and, you know, they scored some points last week, even though it was a low opponent, they should make the scoreboard ring a little bit. So I don't know how much, but I think it stays below, I think it's 55.
It's climbing right now, So New Mexico, 19-point favorites, and this total has gone up to 56 at Sports Interactions, 55.5 everywhere else. Huh.
Man, I don't know how I always end up on the other side of the public, but some of these, man, the inside edges with Rocky Long, I'm sure the public don't realize it's the same defense from San Diego State. It's a 3-3-5. The 3-3-5 is when played well is what most top teams run in college football because you need that many guys over top to cover the pass. So I don't know how they see it, but that's the only way I see it.
So a possible under look, which does make sense. Okay, so Lobos big favorites here against the Aggies. We have 4. Okay, beautiful. We're still rolling. Okay, next up for us is 10 p.m. Eastern, Vanderbilt Commodores. What a horrific start for the Vanderbilt Commodores. At Colorado State Rams, we're at Canvas Stadium in Fort Collins, Colorado. This game pops off at 10 p.m. Let's start with the market that we are dealing with here, and that is Colorado State opening up as 5.5-point favorites. They're now 7-point favorites. This total opened up at 48.5, and it has shot up to 51 as well. There's big show in the house. So let's take a look at the cash. Is there enough cash in there to get a read on this? We have just 1,223 tickets in, but it's all Colorado State. 61% of the tickets, 95% of the cash, and then 86% of the tickets and 97% of the cash on the under in this spot. So the Clark Lee era got off to just a disastrous start. I mean, couldn't it get worse? 23-3 loss at home against East Tennessee State, FCS East Tennessee State. They rushed for 85 yards, 321 total yards overall. And then the Rams were destroyed by South Dakota State. And yes, they're an FCS team, but they're the number 2 ranked FCS team in the country. They lose 42-23. I know that there was thoughts that the under, with how bad Vanderbilt is, that the under would be the play here. And I find it very interesting that the money is on the under, yet this total keeps climbing. DJ Big Boss, take it away. Vandy, Colorado State. Oh, you're muted, my man.
Here screams bum fight, bum fight, bum fight. It's only one way to go on the bum fight, and that's with the home side. Colorado State I was heavy on Colorado State. It was a pure disappointment on how they came out. They supposed to have a defensive line. You know, they put up so many sacks last year. Like everything they were supposed to do was absolutely what they didn't do. And it'll be difficult to lay money on the Colorado State until they show me different. But this Vanderbilt team played horrible. I mean, don't forget Vanderbilt's one of those big research school with the smart guys. They slight Ivy League school right there. So who knows if they even care? So I would go Colorado State or nothing.
Yeah, Colorado State or nothing. And then this total going up to 51.5 with all the cash on the under is just perplexing. I agree. I think Colorado State is a nice bounce back spot for them. I think Colorado State, I think we got to get in before this gets over 7. Oh, wait, we move on to 10 p.m. Eastern. San Diego State Aztecs at Arizona Wildcats. Aztecs 1-0. Wildcats haven't won since October of 2019. Let's go with the market first here at 10 p.m. And we have Arizona opening up as 1-point favorites. They're now 2 or 2.5-point favorites. This total's dropping, opening at 48. Now we see 46.5s on the board. Move over to the cash in this spot. And we have 1,324 tickets in. 67% of the tickets, 70% of the cash on Arizona. And then 50% of the tickets, 48% of the cash on this under that's been dropping. Maxwell Smart says San Diego State team total under. And I did copy and paste Max's looks here in week 2. He's been eating and just destroying FCS. Jordan Brookshire, I mean, it was a very underwhelming performance. It couldn't have been much more underwhelming than what we saw. 115 yards, no touchdowns, 1 pick. Then the Wildcats, I mean, they lose 24-16 to BYU, which no shame in that. And Gunnar Cruz looked pretty good. Is San Diego State as bad as what we saw in week 1? And is this Arizona's opportunity to get their first win in a long time?
I hope not. I hope San Diego State is not as bad as they look at that game. I went to that game and it was horrible. I couldn't believe how bad the offense played. I couldn't believe how bad the offensive play calling was. I couldn't believe how bad the offensive line blocked. It was just shit show after shit show on offense. Only thing that looked promising from that was Coach Brady Hoke was able to bring him in halftime and rally the troops. And when he came out after halftime, the defense played like at a whole nother tempo, a whole nother level. Some of those scores, were caused by the defense. One of them was a pick 6. So the defense is still. I can't say walking away that the defense is not doing what they do, but they definitely look a lot undersized than the normal San Diego State defensive line and stuff like that. So I think in this one, I think the defense comes out and plays well, but the offense is a total mess up right there. They didn't even take Brookshire out. I mean, they worked 3 quarterbacks in the battle. One comes out and he does so bad. Why you don't even try some of the other guys to get a spark? The receivers were wide open. They weren't making it. He wasn't releasing the ball in enough time. The guy tries to step up in the pocket but can't read the field. It was a disappointment in San Diego State. I thought they would make a good run in the Mountain West this year because they finally would find a quarterback. That's all they needed on offense was a quarterback to add to what they had. But now the offensive line doesn't look great. Nothing. If I had to lay aside, I would lay Arizona, and if I had to do the total, it's got to be the under.
Yeah, I think both of those looks make sense here. What is the under done in this game one more time? It's gone from 48 to 46.5. Yeah, I think both those looks make sense to me. Both of them. Okay, there we go. That's Aztecs Wildcats. Now we have 2 games left. 10:30 p.m. Eastern. UNLV at number 23 ranked Arizona State Sun Devils. We're at Sun Devil Stadium in Tempe. And let's start with the market here. This game pops off at 10:30. Arizona State 34.5-point favorites. This total at 54. UNLV lost to Eastern Washington in overtime, 35-33. And it was a wild game. They looked god-awful until young Doug Brumfield comes in, and he looked excellent. Led that UNLV to 27 points. So he was in there for a final quarter in 2 overtime periods. Arizona State, their running game looks nasty. Rashad White, I mean, God, we saw what he did in 2020. He looks just as good. And now sophomore backup, or I don't know if he's a backup, training him, looks so good as well. They both in that game averaged over 8 yards per carry. Arizona State, giant favorites here. Is there anything here for us with them being this big of a favorite at home against UNLV? Oh, we got you muted, my man.
I keep pressing the mute because you hear me breathing behind, and I keep forgetting to unmute. But
don't worry, buddy.
UNLV, another team that I had high hopes for, and they just stunk up the field in so many ways. I had a slight edge on the uniform, Jimmy, because if you watch a preview of the whole new takeover at UNLV and they little part at Allegiant Stadium, that when the coach came in there, one of his things that he stood by was that he were going to have these all white uniforms for home games to represent a new beginning with a new team and, all this good stuff, right? And then they come into the game, first game of the year at home, and they're not even wearing the whites, and they get beat by Eastern Washington. That just was a complete turnoff. I think that they do have some decent athletes, but they kind of just scattered all over the field, man. But on the contrary to that, Arizona State, Herm Edwards, fourth-year coach, offense is really not per se his thing, so that number's kind of high. I think the book's trying to catch us up right there, and I don't see. UNLV is kind of sporadic. They may slide a touchdown in and two. It could be a backdoor cover, but I doubt it because, if the starters are no good, the backup's not going to come up and do much better in a blowout situation. So I would lay it. Go ahead, lay the wood. Hope Herm Edwards is trying to cool off his seat some and put an impressive win against a team like UNLV. If this was basketball, it'd be a great win.
Yeah, I don't know. Brumfield did look very good when he took over, and I think you're right about Herm. He's not one to run up a score. I might just have to end up staying off of this one. We have one more game on the board, and this is the one I'm most excited to talk about. I want to double up here on Oregon State. Hawaii Rainbow Warriors, the Oregon State Beavers were in Corvallis, Oregon. There was a 10.5 on the board. It's gone. There's now 11.5 on the board. You can still get the 11. This total's gone from 61 to 64, and I'm not certain about the total. It's the spread that I want to attack. Warriors, they lose on the road, and I don't really trust Cordero. 4 touchdowns, 3 picks through 2 games. They looked awful in that 44-10 loss at UCLA. And look, beating Portland State by 14 at home is nothing. I thought Oregon State looked very good in that 30-21 win, or looked better than expected in that 30-21 win. Excuse me, 30-21. Why do I think they lost that game at Purdue? Right? Yeah, 30-21 loss. I don't know why I'd win there. 30-21 loss at Purdue. Chance Nolan looked good enough in a very tough situation. I think it's going to be a much easier situation, and I want to double up on Oregon State, but I have not pulled the trigger yet. Should I?
I've been going back and forth on this one. Initially looking at this one, being how bad Hawaii's offense has been playing, and low key their defense is growing. I can't say they're getting much better, but they're growing. I wanted to go under in this one, but after looking at it a little more, Oregon State brings back a lot on offense, few on defense, and they're supposed to be a lot better than the past years. I think it's a 4th-year coach right here as well. So, he's looking for the prize. They put the number up a little bit, but this is one where I think Hawaii could probably backdoor cover this one. Maybe getting things together in the second half. We look at the UCLA game. They play like a high school team out there, and if we look at UCLA now, hey, UCLA is that good. They played right where they were supposed to play. And then last week the coach talked about them slipping in the second half. They came out a good game on offense, so maybe the offense has got a few things that they know they can do well now. I think this is a tough matchup for both teams right here, and I think Hawaii cuts into that late. But if I have to take a pick, I think I'll go with the over. I think Hawaii puts a couple scores on the board, and I believe Oregon State can put some on there too. So I'm gonna lean towards the over in this one. Oh shoot, I can't hear.
That's my bad. Sorry, I got my bad. My son's looking for searching for titty, and so I put it on mute there. 1,260 tickets in, and the market's been very interesting here. 61% of the tickets are on Oregon State, but just 38% of the cash. So the big bets are right with you, boss, thinking that Hawaii can cover this. And then, interestingly enough, 50% of the tickets are on the under, and 93% of the cash is on the under, which is surprising because this total has gone from 61 up to 64 and a half in some books. So, it's interesting. I love your breakdown so much, and I love having you on the show, but now I just need to sit back and study this even more. I don't feel like there's any slam dunks, but I do like Arizona. But then I don't want to overvalue how bad San Diego State looked in week one, which is sort of what I'm doing, trusting an Arizona team that maybe shouldn't be trusted at all. I think you're right with that Colorado State at -7. That makes a ton of sense to me. It looks like Air Force will smash Navy, but the market not saying that. Still leaning towards that Notre Dame team total over, and that under 44 in Wyoming at Northern Illinois makes sense to me. And I wonder if Northern Illinois at +7 still has, or with the market moving against them, I'd throw them for a loop at that spot. But absolutely great breakdowns. First half under is another spot that DJ Big Boss is looking at with UTEP Boise State. Are you going to be tweeting out your official Mountain West action? How do you do things?
You can catch me on Saturday on the show, and where we break down all the games, and I usually have the ones that I like the most on there. I let people know right there. Sometimes stuff gets away from me. I forget to put up tweets and stuff like that. I'm too busy running McBossburger, man. You got a lot of stuff going on over here. So I'll try this weekend to get those out when I make them official. But a lot of games now this year, I'm slimming my bets up to the ones that I have a true edge in. So I won't be having as many that I want to play, but I have a lot of leans, and I definitely have a breakdown on them if you ask me. But
I love it.
That's about it, Jimmy.
I absolutely love it. DJ Big Boss, who can be seen on this channel every Saturday morning with the big college football kickoff show alongside Big Ragu, Connor Mack, and Babano. DJ Big Boss, thank you for gracing us with your presence. McBossburgers in full effect. That shit is Mando. And we love you. Where can we find you on Twitter?
Hey, man, make sure you take your bets over bullshit. And you can catch me on Twitter at DJ Big Boss, just like it's spelled right there. You know what I'm saying? And special announcements to the ladies. We just went through some, meetings and stuff, and we come up right here at McBossburgers. No shirt, no shoes for women. Come on in. We give you service.
No shirt, lots of service. I love it. I respect it very much. There he is, DJ Big Boss, blessing us with Mountain West expertise. Thank you so much for joining us, Big Boss. Okay, we have 6 minutes because in 6 minutes we have Ian Cameron's Football Frenzy, and it's opening night NFL. And Turnsy says Bucks up to 9.5. Exactly. I mean, when is it going to stop? I mean, how do you not? I mean, the last thing I want to do is open the season with the Cowboys, but 9.5 points. I have to take the Cowboys. And what's going to happen is we know that late action is going to come in on them, and then do we take it now? Could it possibly get to 10? Wow, 9.5 is now the spread. Let's move over to the cash flow because we're going to have a huge sample size of action here. 62,026 tickets in here at Sports Insight. So 57% of the tickets and 57% of the cash are on Tampa Bay. That's on the spread. That's not a lot. God, is Tampa Bay just going to beat the shit out of this team? Do I really want to start? So I have no move. I have 12 bets now, 12 in NFL football, and I haven't moved on this game. I did add, for you guys who don't know. I did add 3 spots on my NFL card that I just felt like I had to after just, going over everything again. I took the Rams minus 7.5. I took the Bears team total under 17.5. And I took the Ravens first half minus 3. 57% of the tickets, 57% of the cash, and it just keeps moving in the Buccaneers' direction. Then 42% of the tickets, 59% of the cash on the under. So there's some money coming in on the over, a lot of money in on the under. Mike M says, let the public dummy this line up for us and clip it at 10. God, this is wild. Trotway, I'm thinking Dallas money line too. That's wild as well. North Ender says, since 2004, when the NFL began, starting the season with a Thursday home game for the reigning Super Bowl champions, the reigning champs are 13-2 on opening night, 9-3-3 against the spread. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Sean Thompson says, too many. Mally Mouse says, Dak's throwing shoulder may not be 100%. Yeah. Look, books are looking for Cowboys action, and at what point do we give it to them? That's the question. At what point do we give them exactly what they want? Turnsey says, I really don't think the Bucs stomped them. Let's go. We have just a few minutes to talk about this game, but me and Cameron's football frenzy is popping off here in 3 minutes. So we know the biggest story in this game is Zach Martin not there, and Tyron Smith, Zach Martin, Lyle Collins missed 36 games last year. So we know Zach Martin's not going to be there, and Zeke Elliott says every run goes through him. We also don't know the health of Dak. We don't know the health of Dak. Mark Schillingberg says CeeDee Lamb is eating tonight for my fantasy team. And the curb stomp play today is Cowboys plus 10. Trotwam says, I think Dak's shoulder is an issue for the season and not for the first game. Real Deal Prime says one-sided. Brady and the Bucs makes the fans happy and easy money. So when Dak was healthy last year, Zeke looked like a monster. When Dak went down, Zeke looked awful. And then when this Cowboys team was putting up massive points with Dak healthy, they were 2-3 straight up and 0-5 against the spread. And they were 4-1 towards the over. But nobody's sitting here believing that this total is going to fly over, even if Arian says this Buccaneers team is going to average 40 points a game. This is the first team since the 1977 Super Bowl champion Raiders to return every starter. First team to ever do that in the free agent era. Mark Schillingberg says Dak is going to come out firing. Sean Thomas says, I really don't want to do it either, but I cannot. Bucks minus 10 with the public, rather pass. Mark Nick says Zeke is going to score first. This Buccaneers team looks extremely dangerous. But it is week 1, and they have a ceremony before the game. And is this going to get to 10? This could get to 10. You have to keep watching it all day but it just, Sean Thompson says Cowboys are getting disrespected and they will be pissed. Kevin Riley leaning towards Tampa should cover easy. Puzzler says Brady capable of throwing a duck pick 6 early and throwing everything off. Miguel Vega says, gave you guys Fresno State last week. Take over in Boise State tomorrow. Miguel Vega. Yes, I was very confident in Fresno State as well. Let's move this here. All right. It is time for us to go. I'm sorry that we didn't have enough time to talk about the Thursday nighter, but we do have the breakdown on our channel. We do have our NFL football show every Tuesday night. Ron Walsack says, best cornerback run stop helper out for the Bucs. Ray Charles says these Bucs are going to dominate. Why does anybody think Cowboys can hang with this all-star team? Well, the time is perfect for you guys that want to talk NFL football and want to talk about football in general, because Babano's Football Frenzy starts right now on Pub Sports Radio. So check out the Ian Cameron Football Frenzy and join us tomorrow and join us Sunday morning for NFL Pub Hub. And we got some exciting stuff planned for our Sunday show. Shout out to all you guys. Go head over and hang with Ian Cameron, our guy. But much love to all of you. We have no show without all of you guys in the chat. Your insights, your humor, and everything that you bring to the table. Bill McDonald on Bucks first half -5.5. And Maxwell says Giselle has blown Tom, so Tampa Bay will win. Henry Dice, my pleasure. Ray Charles, thank you guys for everything. Thank you to our guest DJ Big Boss for his great breakdowns of college football. Thank you to Jose Bouquet on the ones and twos, producing the show and doing a great job with graphics. And again, most importantly, thanks to you guys for watching. Head over and check out Babano's Football Frenzy. But most importantly, let's get paid in full today. Leche, hey, los bookmakers!